What's going on, my PT peeps, my Star Wars fans, and my fighters? I'm One Eyebrow, also known as PT, and I'm back to talk about Star Wars. Spoiler warning for the entire series, universe of Star Wars, from Episode 1 to Episode 9, and everything in between. From The Mandalorian, Disney Plus, everything you could think of, Star Wars spoilers, spoiler warning. Well, that being said, I enjoyed Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. But I do have questions. Is it the world's best movie? No. But first, guys, before we get into it, please hit the subscribe button. We love talking about Star Wars, Marvel movies, and of course, The Walking Dead. And like I said, I enjoyed the movie. Was it the best movie ever? No. I still feel like episodes 4, 5, and 6 are the best part of the series, the universe, whatever you want to call it. Then it goes probably this series, 7, 8, and 9. Then 1, 2, and 3. So I go the original is the best. And I think J.J. Abrams did a great job in episode 7 and 9. And he didn't do episode 8, which he had to undo certain things for episode 9, which is kind of unfair to him. But overall, I thought it was pretty cool. It was pretty cheesy in some parts. Some of the aspects were like, I don't know, that looks pretty terrible. But overall, the whole thing with Ben and Rey and Palpatine and Rey being a Palpatine, it was pretty interesting and I could buy into it. And I think they did a great job to not have Carrie Fisher in this movie, but have her in this movie. And it sucks so bad that Carrie Fisher died in real life and was unable to film anything for episode 9. Carrie Fisher and Princess Leia are an iconic character in this universe. Skywalkers, Solos, Palpatines, Jedis, Siths, it's all what makes Star Wars great, and Carrie Fisher is a great part of it. I love this new guy. Babu Frick was a great character. He was so little, he was comic relief, it was pretty awesome, and I did like the parts with C-3PO. I think this was his best movie, and the character was pretty great. Now, some things were like, why would he have red eyes when he was just speaking Sith language? They would really change like that, and I did buy into the fact that he was unable to say it because of his programming, and they had to find out a way to do it, and it was pretty cool, and we got a new character out of it. And I do love the new characters. Dio is kind of cool, and when you meet droids and new weird creatures, that's what Star Wars is all about to me. And new planets and new characters and new things that really draw us in, and we're like, whoa, look at that guy, look how little that guy is, or look at that droid, or look at that robot. Like BB-8 is probably one of the best new characters and characters of the series. I like this new character. I don't know her name, I'm blanking on her name, but that's definitely Lando's daughter, right? That's gotta be Lando's daughter. And they had these little things where they're like, oh, what does that mean? What's this gonna happen? What was Finn going to say to Rey? We still didn't really find out in the movie. We had to find out in interviews after the fact. And the whole thing was that he was Force sensitive. Not that he loved her or anything like that. It was like, yep, I can use the Force too. Will these two end up together? I kind of hope so. That would be pretty awesome. And the whole thing about Lando coming back, he had a very small part in my opinion. He couldn't really do much. I guess Billy D. Williams is an old man now and he flew around, but it was good to see Lando without Han, and we did get to see Han, which was great, and there was great moments of it that was fan service, but I'm okay with that. And I'm not gonna lie, I got emotional when I saw Han Solo for the last time in the series, and when we thought Chewie died, I was like, no, right? But everybody was okay, and it was pretty great. As for Rose, all the stuff from episode 8 made no sense for episode 9, and there was no connecting points really, right? I was like, what? What's happening here? It didn't matter. No Rose and Finn together, which we thought might happen, but JJ had to basically undo or step over or glance over or not really mention and really go a separate way for what Rian Johnson did in episode 8, which kind of sucks. If JJ did all 3, it probably would have been better. He could have put some things from episode 9 and episode 8, and he didn't have to really rush it or put it together in his own way. But, you know, we just don't know because we had J.J. Abrams, then Rian Johnson, and then J.J. Abrams again for 7, 8, and 9. And I love that we saw the Ewoks at the end of episode 9. So it was basically episode 7 is like episode 4. Episode 8 is like episode 5, and episode 9 is like episode 6. And it came out after the fact that Warwick Davis, who played Wicket in episode 6, was Wicket again in episode 9, but now his son in real life played another Ewok in episode 9 at the end. It's a brief moment and it's kind of cute and I love it, and I love the Ewoks when I was growing up, and they are definitely cool. The Ewoks rule. And as for the ending, why was Rey basically all by herself with BB-8 here in Tatooine? Why? Why was somebody else not with her? I just think it's a missed opportunity. I love that she went back and she called herself a Skywalker, which I guess is The Rise of Skywalker. And to me, the title doesn't really make sense. I mean, it's like The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, The Rise of Skywalker. I don't know. It's like, it just doesn't really flow that well, in my opinion, or maybe it's not designed to. But overall, I enjoyed the movie. It was fan service, C-3PO, BB-8, the new characters, Chewie being captured again. It was taking me back to the original series. 4, 5, and 6 is by far the best in my opinion, but this was good. It was very entertaining. And when they're leading the charge and they're going towards where they gotta go to take down the ship and everything, and I was like, yeah, BB-8, it was pretty cool. I like when Finn's like, yeah, and he's like, yeah, you're doing great. Like, it's just cute. It's just a nice moment, and there was a lot of nice moments in the movie. There were some cheesy parts, and we'll get to those in a second, but I love the fact that Chewie finally got his medal. That's for sure, because he got robbed in episode 4 when only Han and Luke got medals, and he never got a medal, but he did in episode 9, which is like justice for Chewie. And I love Chewbacca. He's one of those characters that's synonymous with Star Wars. Han, Chewie, Luke, Leia, Skywalkers, and Chewbacca almost dying was like, no freaking way. Chewbacca can't die, and I'm glad he didn't. And to my Walking Dead fans, yes, this is Kaylee Presley Fleming. She was in episode 7 as young Rey. They showed it again in episode 9, which is pretty awesome. I love that about it, and we saw that clip again, but we also found out who her parents were, and more importantly, who her grandfather was. I personally think that it would have been better if you had Ben Solo and Rey Palpatine together, and they had kids, and they were the future of the franchise going into the next trilogy. But to be honest, Kylo Ren was pretty terrible. Anakin Skywalker, pretty terrible. But Darth Vader was pretty awesome. And I liked Ben Solo more than Kylo Ren. And it's just weird that these two characters of Ben and Rey didn't end up together. Like, it was cool that Rey survived and that she went back to where it all started in Tatooine and Skywalkers, and you went back to it, and it was pretty awesome. But it's like, man, where do we go from here? Is this truly the end? And what's up with the yellow lightsaber? We'll have to find out what's going on there. But basically, when Rey was fighting herself as a Sith, took me back to episode 5, when Luke was fighting Darth Vader, and then the mask opened up and it was Luke in there. And I love the callbacks and the voiceover work, but the whole thing with Palpatine was just like, all right, he's really connected with the prequels, the original series, and here. So he's connected so much in all of this realm. And the fact that he was basically controlling Snoke, or Snoke was basically a fake puppet of his, was like, ah, come on. And this thing looked super cheesy when he's hanging there basically by the machines and he's going, and it was like, man, that just looks weird. It looks ridiculous, and it looked over the top. The whole thing with the Force lightning is like, you know, like, all right. And then she had 2 lightsabers, puts them together, and then blocks the lightning. That's what you do in this world. But then it blew him apart, and he was gone. Well, then it drained all of Rey, and Rey was killed. And you're like, okay, why did that happen? But then Ben saved her, and then Ben vanishes, and then Princess Leia, or General Organa, vanishes. But it was nice moments. You could see the X-Wing stuff coming back around, and you see Wedge. They showed him for, a split second, and it was good when everybody came. It did remind me of Marvel's Endgame, the Avengers Endgame, when they were all there to save the day and take down all these ships and everything. But either way, Marvel and Disney and Star Wars, they're all together in the same company. Disney owns it all. Disney's taken over the entertainment universe, that's for sure, which is fine. But overall, I thought it was great. I could see why people didn't like it. I can see why people are hating on it, but not really, though. Like, what did you want to see? What did you want to happen? It's an ending. Maybe it's not the best ending, and some things were a little crazy, especially with Palpatine. But overall, I was thoroughly entertained. And what was up with this? So Palpatine had the ability to just raise all these destroyers with the ability to blow up planets that easily from a gun on the destroyers. I mean, that's pretty crazy. But they stopped him, and the good guys won. It's good versus bad. Evil was defeated, and that's the way it goes in this universe, and I think good storytelling as well. But I went back and I watched episode 8 before episode 9, and it was better than I thought. It's still not good. It's definitely the worst movie out of 7, 8, and 9, but I'm glad episode 9 went back to the roots of the original series. And I know a lot of people are pissed that episode 7 is way too much like episode 4, and episode 9 is way too much like episode 6. So ultimately, Rise of Skywalker is the end of the episodes. we'll have to wait and see what Disney does going forward. But are you burned out with all the Star Wars stuff? Are you excited for the future of it? I mean, I'm watching The Mandalorian on Disney Plus, and I think it's great. So if they have a refreshing take on the series down the road, or they wait to do stuff in a couple years, I'm okay with that. Give it a break. We had episodes 4, 5, and 6, and then a super long break before we got the prequels. But I hope they don't do anything like the prequels in this series, and I think the future of the Star Wars universe will be okay. Overall, I thoroughly enjoyed episode 9. I know some people didn't, but let me know your thoughts. Post your comments below, and thank you guys for watching.